Here's our first question. Can you
Uh-huh.
describe like a timeline of your physics Olympiad journey? So like from the start of high school, or like what were you doing before physics, and like what were you doing after? Uh,
Okay, so I started most of my physics preparation at the end of 10th standard. So for people who don't know, in India, like uh, 12th is the end of like high school education. After that, college starts. So like
uh-huh.
I started it at the end of 10th because that's when most of the people really start to, focus on a particular major or whatever. So that's when I started my physics solid preparation. Before that, I was doing a bit of maths Olympiad, but I wasn't that good at it. Like I got to like the national stage, but that's about it. And then I got into like physics Olympiad in 11th, at the end of 10th, start of 11th, and I made it to camp by mid 11th, and almost made it to team by the end of 12th.
Nice, nice. And then
Yeah.
like, were there any books or resources that you used? Like, what are the main things that you used to get to those?
So I used just one theory book, which is called H.C. Verma. Alternatively, even HRK is kind of the same book, but I prefer H.C. Verma because like it was written in a more Indian style.
Right.
Other than that, I also did a bit of Iridov, though not really seriously, but yeah, I did a bit of Pathfinder. And other than that, I just sold a shit ton of past Olympiad papers. Like I did Indian Ollie papers, then I did the international papers, and I also did papers from like a couple of other countries, like USA PHO, then the Russian Olympiad, and all that.
All right, sounds good. So you basically stuck to like a few theory books and then did a bunch of problems apart from that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Um. So overall, like, how many hours did you spend repairing?
So usually, what my schedule used to be like is I used to do my regular JEE preparation and all that till like 10 p.m. And then from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. I used to do like these physics Olympiad prep, and that's it.
Mhm.
So 3 hours per day, you can say.
Oh, 1 a.m. is pretty late. Do you like, do you sleep enough or do you like,
Actually, I do run a bit sleep deprived,
oh, I see.
but that's more of a habit thing because like for me, my max productivity comes at night, so. I love to sleep late. Actually, now that we mention it right now, I slept at like 4 a.m. yesterday.
Oh, wow. Nice. And, so like when you're doing a problem, like, how do you approach it? Like, if you don't know how to solve it, like, what do you do?
So basically, whenever I like see a problem, I don't know what to do. I always go about it like super rigorously and step by step. So like I'll first analyze all what is given, and then if like I don't know what direction I have to go to, I'll sort of try and make a guess. Like, oh, let's try to calculate. Like, for example, if they gave us like position and something, and then I had some complicated result I have to calculate, and I don't know how to approach it, then I'll be like, oh, maybe let's try calculating momentum. Maybe that'll help, and things like that. So like if I have no clue, I just go about it rigorously and I try some stuff until it works.
Okay. Then,
But usually, the thing which I've noticed is like, at least for IPHO and APHO and stuff, the problems are set in a way that they kind of guide you to the answer. So like, you don't have to really think much for most of part. Like,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it's like different
that's
from like
why,
UFO or something.
yeah, yeah. That's why UFO is very good.
Yeah. Okay. And then similar to like the how you approach a problem, like how would you approach a textbook? Like if you're approaching a text, like there's a chapter and you don't know anything about it. Like, how would you read the textbook?
So the way I do it is like, mm, I sort of imagine it as a mental framework. So like, whenever I sort of read a new concept, what I'll try to fit that new concept in my already existing brain work. So like, what I'll do is, for example, if they give me a new concept, I'll try to experiment with it a bit. I'll try to like sort of see how far it goes. Like, I'll give you an analogy of coding here. So like, because that's what I was doing recently. So I just started learning coding, and so what I do is every time I see like a new function, I first take notes of it, and then I'll try to stretch it to the max. I'll just try to experiment with it, like, oh, what will happen if I try this with it, or what will happen if I try that with it. That gives me like a complete expanse of like what this concept can do overall.
Okay, sounds that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay, then that's all my questions. So now I'm going to move on to like other questions people have.
sure.
Um, so what is your favorite physics problem? And if there's multiple, could you give a particularly interesting one?
Oh, that's a hard one. Let me think. Uh, okay, so the problem number 12 in IOAA 2022 was a very good problem. It was a really cool problem because I'd never seen anything like that. Like, it wasn't like very innovative and like how you had to solve it, but like the things they were discussing itself were very cool. It was like about oscillations when two satellites sort of go in a similar orbit. So how one affects the other.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And if we want to talk about another, then there was like there was a problem in what was that Olympiad called? It was even EU gave it. It was like Feynman path integrals and stuff in it.
Oh, like the Physics Unlimited Explorer
Yeah,
competition?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh
That
yeah.
that was a cool Olympiad.
Oh yeah, because like had a bunch of new concepts.
Yeah, that was pretty insane.
Yeah, okay. I see. Uh, so how did you this you kind of answered this already, but this is one question someone had. How did you integrate Olympiad preparation with the rest of your ongoing life? And then how did the intensity of preparation change as you approached exam dates?
Okay, so I'm usually a type of person who likes to pre-plan a lot. So like when I started my Olympiad preparation at the start of 11th, I already kind of had a basic framework ready for like what I need to do when, like, oh, in January I need to do this, in Feb I need to do this, and all that. So that helps a lot. And in terms of incorporating it with your life, just take out 2 3 hours of your time. That's what I did. I took out like 3 hours at the end of my day, and I utilized them. As of intensity, I try to maximize my intensity every time I do it. So like, uh, I sort of have a specific place every like wherever I study. I sort of keep a specific place just to study, and like so like that place is reserved for studying, and so like whenever I sit in that place, I automatically sort of become focused and all.
So it's like it's pretty organized. Like you have a set routine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I see. Oh, oh, this one is kind of sad. So
Okay.
if you ever failed to live up to your expectations in your journey, how did you deal with it and move on?
That's actually a lot more common than I would. So, uh, in 11th, so I was aiming for the team in 11th itself,
Hmm.
but due to like some external factors and also my under preparation in a way as well, I like could not make it to the team. I made it to the camp. So like I was a bit sad, but then for me it was just like, oh, you have one more year, and so like I just pushed with that. And as of 12th, It was a really weird thing because like I so for the people who don't know, I ranked like sixth all across India in the INPHO,
Yeah.
and they only take like five people for the team.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, so but the amazing thing was I got my IOAA team acceptance at the same time, so like it kind of nulled it.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so honestly, if you like, uh, if there's disappointment, just you can cry for a day, you can cry for two, but then again, just remember that that's not gonna help in the long run.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, this is probably the last one. Oh,
Okay.
is school is school, if you're not in a science or gifted high school, actually helpful for you?
Okay, so a bit of backstory. I was actually in a dummy school for 11th and 12th. What dummy school means is that I didn't actually attend my school. I just registered for the school and I went for all the tests, but I did not like go to like school in 11th and 12th. And as of, but I did attend like Alum, which is a coaching center, which is kind of what resembles like gifted kids sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I didn't really feel like Alan helped me that much, to be very honest. Like most of my preparation was self anyway. It was just like, oh, if I have like this one minor doubt, then maybe I'll approach a teacher and ask him about it. But most of the time, I was just on my own, and I don't think that makes a huge difference, honestly.
Okay, I see. Well, then that's it for the interview.